Hello, everyone, and welcome to When Can We Play, where the answer is always, what, my dear players?
Today!
Yay!
That was good. Well, you'll do it better next time. I didn't warn you we were going to do that. Thank you all for joining us. Well, tonight we will be playing Blades in the Dark, written by John Harper and published by Evil Hat Productions, with whom we have no affiliation but are huge fans. We will be continuing our story following the lives of these three scoundrels who have recently been through quite the ordeal. After finding that, oh boy, how far back to go. Let me see. Barnum, should I introduce your characters? Shoot, I'm blowing this.
Yeah,
So let me introduce you to our characters, because that's a thing I should do before I forget. First off, we've got, in an order I can never remember because I don't look at the stream. We've got Jacob Skinner playing Vega Valentine. No, Everett Vega Valentine. There we go. Everett Valentine.
Nice. Got the whole name that time.
I know. I don't even know my players' names. He'll be playing Vega Valentine, the ex-noble, though I guess now once again a noble.
A noble? Question mark?
Question mark. He had lost everything the night that his father was killed, and all of his titles were stolen from him by one Lord Skurlock. Well, our gang ventured to the Dagger Isles, where his manor was, and confronted Lord Skurlock, and finally killed him. It finally happened after forever of trying to do that. However, there were some little loops in the order of events. During the whole conflict, Vega went through some sort of mysterious portal that Skurlock was trying to use to connect to other dimensions, other storylines, other tabletop RPG campaigns. And Vega met with some sort of weaver of fate, a young teenage girl in a black cloak who went by the name of Okira. Now, she claimed to have been following the group and in fact knew Vega from another life. And his whole existence here in this Blades in the Dark universe was a direct cause of Okira's intervention. But nonetheless, she showed him that there was some sort of knot in this grand, epic, ever-spanning tapestry of existence. And basically, without giving him too much to go on, said, hey, do something about this, will ya? It could cause problems. And Vega made a deal with her, basically saying, hey, put me a little bit before in the timeline, before I went through this portal into here. And she said, that could mess some things up. It could make things screwy, but all right. And then she did it. And then they defeated Skurlock. Yay, how are you doing, Jake?
I'm good. That was quite the introduction, although I feel like it was necessary in order to really get to where we need to go.
Yeah, I know. I really ought to write these things down. I challenged myself trying to improv this game, and that is such a good choice. Next up, I will introduce Victor Rivera. You may have seen him on TV or in the cinema. He will be portraying Thingama, the Leech, a tinkerer and mad engineer who was once upon a time an astute academic with high social standing, but he started delving a little too deep into an alternate fuel source for Leviathan blood, the energy source that powers everything in Dustfall and keeps all the ghosts and spirits away. But, what even happened with him? Oh yeah, he got a little too close to answers, and the Leviathan hunters didn't appreciate it and injected him with some mysterious drug. And now he's addicted to all drugs, all of them. Not recently, it was a while ago, he got vengeance upon Lady Clav, the now leader of the Leviathan Hunters. What her fate was, we have yet to find out. I can't wait to see. How are you doing, Victor?
Let's roll the tape!
Thank you for coming to our stream. Have a great night. And finally, let me introduce Paige McCay, our producer and longtime friend, who will be portraying Barnum, the Cutter. She was an acrobat in a family circus that was going really well until some bluecoats, that is the town guard, came and burned it to the ground. And she went on a quest for vengeance, brought it together with this group, and she successfully got said vengeance upon the little ringleader of that group. She was the first one to meet Okira through a vision when she was on death's door. And she was the one who guided the group to the Dagger Isles for this confrontation with Skurlock. How are you doing, Paige?
Great. wonderful. Can't wait to, well, a few more tonight.
Cool. That's really cool because that may be occurring will be alongside or against probably the most unexpected happenstance. When you guys, Thingama and Barnum, separated from Vega, Vega stayed behind, discovered his father was alive during the conflict, and decided to stay behind with his father to settle family business. Meanwhile, Barnum and Thingama went back across the void sea, accompanied by two men at Vega's father's behest, two trained men who would help them when they were in Duskfall settle some business. The gang encountered a Leviathan, a giant mountainous creature, just Lovecraftian horror that came up from the void sea and started attacking them. Thingama basically drove the boat inside the creature's mouth, not too much his own choice, but with two harpoons strapped with explosives on every square inch of it, a lot of stress points, a lot of inventory. He fired off the harpoons into the side of the creature's mouth. And of course it didn't kill it. It didn't scratch it. It didn't do nothing. It irritated it enough to regurgitate the boat back out. And you guys safely made it to Duskfall. Not so safely. Of course, the two crewmates, Charlie and Bartholomew, are those the names I made?
Yeah, that was it.
Awesome. I remember
Charlie,
those guys,
yeah,
those one
Charlie.
episode names. Anyway, they tried to betray you. You got your ship back in the docks safely in Duskfall. You took care of them. One of them, who was it? Bartholomew was about to finish the deed, was about to finish off Barnum, I believe, when suddenly a blade protruded from his throat. And as he fell to the ground dead, there was Vega holding the blade. And standing next to him, Barnum and Thingama. And Barnum and Thingama looked across at Barnum and Thingama while Vega went back to the bar to get a drink. And that's where we left off, and that's where we're picking up. How exciting is that? Oh, Jake genuinely didn't know any of that second half. He had to leave during the stream. So, how are you feeling about that, Jake? How do you like that?
Oh my
How do you like them cranberries?
The timeline's messed up. We screwed with the timeline. Are there multiples of us? Well, okay, I did. Sorry.
And with all that being said, stakes set, kind of. Let's, I guess, get right to it. We named this episode, right? Yes, we did. All right, who wants to introduce the name episode?
I'll do it.
All right, give it to us, Victor. Episode 14.
Episode 14, Duplicity.
Roll intro. Are we back on? Probably. I'm going to start talking as if we are. Welcome, everyone. So we're going to pick up first so that we can consolidate things back to Duskfall, maybe, hopefully at some point. We're going to start off first with Vega, OG Vega, Vega Vanilla, if you will, way back over on the Dagger Isles. Currently, as far as he knows, his crewmates just safely left to Duskfall with added help now, a whole bunch of tier 2 equipment, good stuff. You know they're in good hands. Meanwhile, you're still here on the Dagger Isles in the manor with your father, still very much alive, and let me say, very much back in the swing of things. Your father is straight back to command mode. He has told all of these people what to do. He is directing his men. They're coming and reporting to him as if nothing had changed, as if him and his men hadn't been basically eternal servants to Lord Skurlock just a day or two ago. And at this point, you've had pretty much the run of the place whenever your father isn't off doing something. He said he wanted you to stay to handle family business, yet he's mostly just been drinking and dealing with his other men and not dealing with you much. Roslyn has, of course, Roslyn, by the way, being Vega's NPC friend from his character sheet, that had at one point told him she couldn't help him anymore. And we found out why. She was a prisoner by Lord Skurlock to be a virgin sacrifice to open the portal. Who knew? And mind you, if she hadn't been on that platform with you when you did that, it wouldn't have worked. So, in a way, right? I could GM sometimes. Anyway, she's been given accommodations, a room, strict instructions by everyone but the butler to leave her the hell alone. In the meantime, though, Vega, what are you up to? Still in your manor?
Oh my god. I want to go see Rosalind. I need to have that conversation. I need to see what's going on there.
It's inevitable. You find her, it's a very luxurious room. There are no non-luxurious rooms in your manor. Even the servants' rooms are pretty nice compared to what you're used to in Duskfall. You see her, and she is in her bed, just staring at the ceiling. She has an open book in her lap, laying down, but she's just staring at the ceiling, not even looking at it. And as you open the door, she looks at you and she jumps. Vega.
Still a bit jumpy, yeah?
Yeah, I guess I am. Oh, Vega, I'm so sorry. I should have warned you. I could have helped you. I was so scared. He threatened to come after my family, and I didn't know what to do.
Well, honestly, if I didn't think my entire family was already dead, I'd have probably been as scared as you were.
It was so incomprehensible. He just took a look at me, and all of a sudden I blinked and I was in a cage. And you see her like start to tear up a little, and she starts to, and that stops just as soon as it starts, as she gets that 1,000-yard stare, just staring at the book in her lap.
Well, come back.
When are we going home?
Soon. I don't like being here.
You hear a voice behind you, Vega, that says, "Not too soon, I hope." And you turn, and there, of course, standing in the doorway now, is your father, looking straight at you, and he looks at Rosalind and says, "Make yourself comfortable, dearie. Me and the boy have family business to attend to. I don't see it being finished anytime soon." And he looks at you, Vega, and says, "We've got conquest on our plate."
I'll be back. I'll look at Rosalind, say that, and then I'll just leave with him.
She just gives a little bye as you guys walk out into the hallway, and he says, "All right, son, I won't mince words. We're going to conquer the rest of the Dagger Isles. And then, with the largest army that this part of the world's ever seen, we're going to take Duskfall." And he says that with such bravado, such confidence, as if Duskfall isn't the most powerful city in the Empire, of which the Dagger Isles is not a part. But nonetheless, he says it with just utter confidence. Not a worry.
I want absolutely nothing to do with conquering anything. You and your crazy ideas can go to hell.
Oh, come on, don't be so... What's the word? I don't know, I'm just going to go with cowardly. We have so much to gain and so little to lose.
The real coward here is the one sitting behind his his mansion, his money, his men, and his ego that's twice as big as everything else.
Oh, you've grown quite big in our small time apart, haven't you? Thinks he's a big man now, thinks he's above the alcohol and the women and the goods that we gave him. What are you going to do then? Where are you going to go? Duskfall? You want to live there, out in that cesspit? Here, you can be somebody. You are somebody. Because you're here.
Your head is so ass backwards. I don't even know what to say to you. I don't.
Ass backwards? That doesn't sound like a dialectical thing we would say. Here's the thing, son. There's nothing for you elsewhere. Duskfall? Nothing. Those rats you were keeping company with, they've been taken care of. You're free. Any obligations you held, gone. You can focus on rebuilding what our family has lost, and then some. I know things, I know people. And now that I know what that little doohickey below, I don't think doohickey is something that we would say either, but that little doohickey below, we know what that does now. There are others. We can find them. We can be the most powerful people that we know.
I have been on both sides of this equation now. You did a really good job of hiding me from this kind of shit growing up. But now I see you're just as bad as everyone else. At least when I'm with them, I don't feel like a shit person.
Well, them doesn't exist anymore. Whatever they were giving to you, however they were inflating your head, they can't anymore. They're gone. Dead. I had my men take care of them. There's nothing for you in Duskfall.
I doubt that. I saw your men. I hate to say, probably didn't stand much of a chance.
So there's no making you reconsider. And as he says that, from opposite sides of the hallway, two large men start approaching. And they don't have weapons drawn, but they are armed. And he says, I'd hoped it wouldn't come to this. But frankly, son, until you come to your senses and get rid of whatever smog is in your head from that wretched city, I'll need your compliance. And he beckons his head, and one of the men quickly rushes behind you into Rosalind's room, and you hear a scream, and presumably you quickly go to peek in there, because I know what you would do. I am God, after all. You go to look in the room, and she's lying there, her back pressed up against the wall, just looking at the tip of a blade that's being pointed at her throat. And your father says, now come, son. Don't do anything foolish, or else someone else will pay the consequence. And he holds out his hand to you, and he says, we can do this. We can right every wrong. We can fix every mistake that's been made.
The mistakes are our own. I want to make that a sway roll.
Go for it. This will be risky standard. Risky for obvious reasons. What's her face? Has a little knife pointed at her, but standard because, you know, it's your dad. He cares. Technically.
Wait, I still have a level 2 harm.
Oh, he's got a boo-boo. That's gonna make the roll harder. I shouldn't taunt you. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying it a little too much. Go ahead and roll it. Just do it. I believe in you. Unless you want to spend the stress to increase the effect.
I don't have stress I can burn either. I'm holding out 3 stress left. This is terrible. This is like worst case scenario. So if I lose 1 die off of this, that puts me at 0 die.
So it's gonna roll 2 dice and take the lower of the 2, is what's gonna happen.
They rolled.
So 3. Hot diggity dog. All right, so at the 3, he says, I'm afraid you don't see the bigger picture. I'm going to have to make sure you do. Take her away. And you hear Rosalind screaming in protest, but this guy says, now come on, dearie, don't make this harder. And he comes out with Rosalind, his arm wrapped around Rosalind, and a blade pointed at you, Vega. And he says, take her back to the cell until the boy comes to his senses. And Rosalind says, Vega, please, as the guy starts dragging her back down the hallway. And your father says, come now, Vega. Let's indulge a bit of downtime, shall we? Boom, boom, meta. Look what I did there. You see what I did? But we're actually going to jump to...
I hate this.
No, actually, sorry. We're not going to jump yet. Thank you for being patient, Victor and Paige. Jake, go ahead. What downtime actions are you going to do? Be snappy. Snap.
Drink.
Drank. All right, go ahead and indulge your vice. Press the button for drinking. And of course, your father has an infinite selection of booze. He is quite the alcoholic himself, like daddy, like son.
Can we appreciate
And-
the phrase for a second? Push the button for drinking.
Push the drink button. All right, so you lose 4 stress. And what's your other downtime activity?
Heal.
All right, healing. So with your father and his resources, your father is a tier 3, and all of his tier 2, my bad. And he has appropriate resources as well. So I'm gonna roll for his at-house doctor, because you guys are rich. Of course you have one of those. Why not? Boom! It's a lot easier. All right, he rolled a 5, so you recover 2 slices on your little healing clock.
Yay.
So that puts you where? Oh, nice.
So
Okay,
my-
all of your harms move down 1 level. So your butler snapped and butler punched from when the butler snapped you and punched you moves down to level 1.
Now, how do I display that again?
Oh right, the little bell here. Boop. No harm. Well, you have some harm, don't you?
It's there on my
Oh,
screen.
there you go. That's
There it is.
better. All right, so quickly, what is your plan here? What do you plan to do, Vega? You're in a situation, but I really want to get back to what's happened to these other guys before the
I know I want to be alone with my father.
All right, that's easy enough. You're alone. Where? At a table in that big old office Skurlock was in, at his desk, perhaps.
I think that's his office. Yeah.
He's handed you a cup, and the butler is nearby with a pitcher, ready to refill you both because you just plow right through it.
I really want to handle this civilly because, regardless of how much I hate you, you are my father, and I'd like to think that there's a bit of good in you somewhere.
Son, don't get hung up on good or evil. It's a waste of time. There's only powerful and powerless.
That's the problem. When you give in to that, everything else goes away. The only thing that matters is the hope that you can have.
That's adorable, son. Really, it is. I like that zest. That's useful. That enthusiasm. It'll be good for what we're about to do. And mind you, we are also getting vengeance on that little censored word that I'm not going to say on stream. Ketra, the one that betrayed me, the one that betrayed us.
You can say that word.
Well, I don't want to be like, my friend's a girl and she said I could use it. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, that one. I thought you meant talk.
I would never say that. Don't cancel me yet. Give me a chance. No,
You know what?
I would never.
As he says
That's the reason I couldn't think of a word like this character would say words that I don't say. So that little poo-poo head betrayed us.
I'm gonna censor that out in the radio play.
Got him.
That little duty butt.
I'm just
Ketra.
gonna start censoring out random words just to keep people on their toes.
So Vega, do you got an action you're going to use here to try to overcome the obstacle of your father?
I want to call for the butler to pour us another drink, consider that a consort roll, and see if I can break through. I want to try and talk this through civilly first, but if push comes to shove, I'm gonna shove harder than he does.
Consorting with the butler? All right.
No, consorting with my father.
Consorting. Okay. Well, consorting is like a matter of your connections, right?
Oh, okay.
So-
Sway. Lack of knowledge
All right.
on game mechanics, sorry.
All right. So, as per your last failure, your position is controlled, but your effect will be limited unless you spend 2 extra stress to increase that effect a little bit. I believe in you.
Well, I also still have that level 1 harm.
Uh-huh.
So what does that mean? I have a 0 chance?
Yeah, I guess that would reduce it to no effect.
So I would have
Unless
to spend,
you-
what, 4 stress on this one roll?
Possibly. Unless you have something else that could assist you here. I'll give you a second to think about it. How about that?
Go ahead.
So, meanwhile, back at the docks in Duskwall, we have a little Spider-Man pointing at himself situation as Thingama and Barnum are looking across the way at Thingama and Barnum. And it's just been a stare down at this point. Both sides just waiting for the other to speak.
For like a week.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are joining us as things have... I don't even know where we're going now. So, Jake, you had an idea to get off this island. What do you got?
Leave. I'm leaving.
Uh-huh.
I'm going
How are
to
you
go.
leaving?
I'll follow the trail, like the safe trail that Bartholomew had us follow when he was leaving with everybody else into the village. And I want to speak to the village elder and tell him I have to leave, but I'm coming back.
Your what?
I'm going to want your help.
Why should I care? We already gave you our services. We allowed you to take your boat. I don't remember if that's what he sounded like, but it's what he sounds like now.
As it stands now, I'm overthrowing my father. I want you to be with me, not under me.
Your father's resources are expensive. That's no easy feat.
And I have very,
Is this a
very
test?
dangerous friends.
Were you sent by your father to test us?
No, I'm literally leaving now. I just wanted to tell you this as I was leaving.
Well, I'm afraid we only have the one fishing boat. I don't know if it's worthy for long distance traveling. If you had made peace with your father, you could have possibly had a boat to just get zoop, but... Woo! I don't want to make you roll for this, but like, you're trying to take our boat, it's a little village, I said, you know. All right, let me abstract here. Let me do some GM magic, because I'm God. I can make this guy do whatever. He says, how much money you got on
A whole lot of bag of coin. I have one coin.
you? I'm not going to lie to you. You know you could buy 2 of our boats, possibly 3 or 4 with that much coin. But thank you. And he holds out his hand, and he says, it's all yours.
I just look at the boat. Like
Oh, it's a dinky beat up little sailboat made of wood, no less.
internal dialogue. I'm like, I'm going to have to travel across the Black Sea in this.
And you don't have a star map either. Shit. What situation have we done here? Oh, man. Well, the elder says, I don't envy the task, but that was your choice. And whatever events brought you to this situation. All right, we're gonna jump forward. You know what? We're gonna say a whole heaping boatload of adventure happens.
Mickey, how much stress do you have left?
4 before I get a trauma.
We could do a flashback and say that I copied the star map on the way out.
It's a magical map that has moving like symbols on it. That's like
Okay, all right.
see, so that's what I'm saying. You guys are so used to flashbacking willy-nilly. You're like, I have a gun that kills God. I'm like, okay, sure. But then like eventually it bites me in the ass because like I have to draw a line somewhere. And apparently it's after the God gun. I don't know. Anyway, what are we talking about? All right, well, technically speaking, first time you guys we didn't even roll for your trip to the Dagger Isle, so we can abstract some things. So, just to move this forward, and mind you, everyone, I am improvising this. My GMing is better than this. I promise I'm good, but so after a long ordeal, Vega, you almost go completely mad out on the void sea where everything looks the same. Compasses don't work the way they're supposed to. Every direction looks the same. You're just picking a spot and going. And you came to a little fishing village way down south in the Empire. They told you were in the wrong spot. You were accosted by ghosts and demons, and you basically had a whole swashbuckling adventure. You probably were joined by some other NPCs or something to go like, oh, you have to help us with the local baron, or I don't know. You go through a lot of love and loss, and you and Rosalind almost share a moment together. But that will they won't there is just still there. And then after a long, arduous journey, you arrive at Duskfall. And yeah, that'll be a spin-off or something. We'll figure that out. Anyway, so you get to Duskfall, and your boat at this point, it has just chunks missing from it. It's a raft now. You're on a raft. It's not a boat anymore. You and Rosalind are chilling on a raft with a dinky little stick coming out with a little tattered sail on it. And you start pulling through the electrified gate. A lookout on the gates out to the sea. They motion for someone to lift the gate or what have you. We didn't really think about the logistics of how the naval force would work in this city. Anyway, and you're stopped by the first lookout that says, "Business or pleasure?" "I'm kidding. I need to see your paperwork."
Always
And registration for your craft.
I am literally on a plank of wood.
Yeah, you don't even have to sway me. This is rather pathetic. Go on through. And another one says, what if he's a spy or something? And the guy says, spy for who? We're the capital of the empire. It's fine. He's a bum. And, he's probably just someone caught out looking for a bit of... And he goes out of earshot by the time you make it to the piers of the docks. Finally, at long last. How do you feel seeing Duskfall again? Not your original home, but, probably your home after so much time. How does Vega feel seeing it again?
I'm lost. I'm almost a different person. I don't even know what to think.
Has like a grizzled beard,
I'm
pushing out.
So distraught.
Tom Hanks in Castaway style.
I'm just gonna
Easily
walk
missing
up,
your shirt.
help Rosalind up off of onto that, and I would like to think as we're getting off of the dinghy, it sinks into.
As soon as you pull her off, it just sinks into the water, going down. And Rosalind says, "I knew after those mermaids attacked, it was only a matter of time until that happened." If not the mermaids, then the sirens, or those jagged rocks that were moving and following us, or that giant shark thing. Tell me, alcohol, does that usually make this feel better? I don't drink, but I think I might.
I don't know anymore. Let's go find a bar and find out.
And looking up, you see a random tavern on the docks. Probably nobody in there, right? But the rest of you in the tavern, talking to, debating, whatever, amongst yourselves, literally yourselves. You're in the middle of the conversation, and you look up, Vega, other Vega, looks up and says, "Oh, son of a bitch." And you turn and see rugged... How do you look, Vega? How do you look after this long trip? I was joking, but what's your aesthetic right now?
My coat is tattered. I have one pant leg all the way missing. My boots are messed up. The beard is obviously long. And because the Void Sea is black, I guess I'm soaked in what looks like oil.
All right. I never thought of the Void Sea water that way, but yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Horrible. Haven't been able to do any sort of hygiene at all. I smell like assholes.
And immediately, other Barnum, she says, "Vega," and she looks at the Vega on the stool. "Oh, you stayed behind." And she looks at Barnum. "He stayed behind with his father, and then we came back here." Or...
Nope, that's it. Nope, you're there. And now we're here.
Vega, other Vega immediately stands up and says, "Rosalind!" And Rosalind just looks horrified. And she looks up at Jake, your Vega, and she says, "What's happening? Do you have a twin?" And other Vega says, "That's a really logical conclusion that everyone keeps jumping to, yes, but no, it's stranger than that." And Rosalind says, "Get away, wait. Which one of you is the real Vega?
What does real mean, really?
I just
At
say,
this point, Rosalind.
"Oh fuck it all," and I go to the bar and grab the first drink I see. It's not even mine. It's like a
You grab
stranger's.
some other guy's drink. He's like, hey, and then sees all of these doppelgangers. And he says, huh. Another drink, please.
I just walk up behind that guy and clap my hand on his shoulder. I think you've actually had enough, and I just take his drink and drink it.
What? Now, wait a minute.
You're seeing double, friend. It's probably time to go. And then I just kind of...
And the other Barnum goes over his shoulder and says, before we make you go. And he looks between both of you. Fuck this city. And he stands up and leaves the
I
tavern.
just look at the other Barnum. I could get used to having two of us.
I was about to say the same thing. Think how much work we can get done.
And having someone around other than these men.
Oh, don't get me started. Their bathing habits, first of all. I can get used to a lot. And other Thingama says, hey, I've bathed.
It was horrible.
I had to force this one. I basically just got a hose and just... I don't know if you remember that day.
Thingama would like to roll study to study all of the stories and all of the overlapping stuff.
Gather information. This will be a fortune roll.
Oh, 1 point.
Yeah.
Fortune, I only have 1 in study. So
No consequences or stakes. We're just gonna see what comes. Oh, and take a +1. I'm giving you this one. To save just a little bit of the role play, to assume that Vega, Jake's Vega, explains what he's been up to, what he saw, and the blah blah blah, and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
A portal and Okira. Yes.
study. And so that is a 2 and a 6.
Perfect.
With a 6. Thank you. God, I can only make up so much nonsense that's not like... Anyway. All right, so piecing it together, and you see other Thingama scratching his beard in the same way and looking at everyone at the exact same time. And you both look at each other, and then you keep looking. Basically, you surmise, you have a moment, just a click, a flash of that old Thingama brilliance that's still hidden in there. You piece together that based on Vega's story, when he went through that portal and spoke with Okira, spoke with this fate weaver, weaving the threads of fate or whatever the hell, Bubkiss, she gave him the option, if you recall, to be transported back to your timeline, exactly where you teleported into the portal, or to teleport just a little bit before that moment. But she warned you that things would get screwy. She doesn't know what would happen to your lives, to your fates, to your existences, or the current time the thread as it stands. Not time thread. The current thread as it stands. So you surmise that whatever she did with these threads, she must have looped it back in on itself to a point where you guys hadn't left for the Dagger Isles yet. And somehow, it's not quite like a time travel thing. It's a lot more abstract and easy to bullshit than that. It's more like it's more like she literally curled the threads, tied them off in different places, moved them, basically. And since she has stated she was a human, she might have just made a human error, not predicting that other yous would remain here when she moved those threads. And at that moment, it's clicking that you also had seen another Huppledepup that was in infinitely better shape than yours when you came to the docks. You passed it off at first, given the present circumstance. But there you have it. You are now on whatever path you were on, but now it got mixed up with another path that you were on, a hypothetical you were on. And now you've all been mixed up into the same one.
Wait.
So then my questions are you lot supposed to go to the Dagger Isles? Or do we get double the actions and scores from here on out?
Oh, we get to do everything twice!
Everything
Twice as many.
Twice
As many drugs? Twice as many bombs?
Wait.
Twice as many fingers.
Does this mean there's another Skurlock here?
And all of you get silent at that suggestion of a possibility. And other Vega says, no, you killed him. I, and then suddenly he looks down and Thingama says, ooh, looks like Vega needs, as both Vega and other Vega and other Thingama start zoning out and they start hunching over a bit. And you notice that just like Barnum, they have blood leaking from their ears now. And they both, almost at the same time, snap up and look at each other and then look at you guys. Holy shit, I remember. I remember. And he looks at you, Vega. You rescued her. And Rosalind's just looking terrified at all of you. You rescued her. We killed Skurlock. My father's alive. Why do I remember all of that after the portal, though? Why do I remember your journey?
I think our timelines are syncing up. She must have done something.
I don't... So does that mean that one of us isn't supposed to exist?
Can I, Edwin, can you check the question I just put in the chat and tell me yes or no? Because that could help Chris, like, push this along narratively if I can.
I don't know why you posted in the chat. You could just ask me. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Not quite. The question was, can me and other Barnum remember anything of Okira's memory? I don't believe so, no, because it's a little more direct than that in this case. You both are literally the same person in this case, like not an alternate, like a, how do I explain? It's like just, yeah, it's two hypothetical yous, but from your perspective, you're just the real you, and from her perspective, she's the real her.
Ooh.
But, yeah, shoot. At that point, Rosalind says, I don't know who to believe. After everything we've been through, and she looks up at Jake's Vega, she says, after everything we've been through, I mean, I know you're real. But, and she looks at other Vega, this is all very confusing for me. I think I should go home. I'm sure my family's missing me. Can one of you escort me? Wait, never mind. I'll figure something out. Vega, thank you. And she gets up on her tiptoes and kisses you on the cheek and pats you on the shoulder and says, find me tomorrow. Or in a few days. I'll be ready to talk soon. I'll send someone to you. Okay. Goodbye. And she backs out the door and leaves the tavern.
Okay.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Can Thingama tell if this is like in Duskfall, if it is the past, if it was like the date that we left, or?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it was. It's just a. Oh no, sorry, no, it isn't. That's the difference. It was in another theoretical where you had done some other stuff before heading to Dagger Isles, kind of thing. It just took you longer to leave. So like you came.
Go ahead.
Oh, go on.
No, go ahead.
It's like you guys jumped to an adjacent thread, same time, same date, but the other ewes that were already on that thread, they just hadn't gotten to Dagger Isles yet. They had done other stuff.
Other Thingama.
What?
Do we, as soon as we come back from the Dagger Isles, do we have to do that thing for that guy, like immediately?
What guy? Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was pretty mad that we didn't already do it.
Yep. Tracks. All right.
Yeah, we were hoping to avoid him. We were on our way to leave right now so that he couldn't catch us.
Yeah. Oh, man. That means we're probably going to need to do
You want to fill us in on this?
I think I can help with that. You hear a voice over your shoulder. He was in the corner. Not in the corner. He was at another table nearby with the cloak pulled over, but he pulls it down just enough for you to see his mangled face as he stands up, and the leader of the grinders